Welcome back to the Whitetail Factor. Seems like a long wait from the end of deer season here to turkey season when you can get back out and do what we all love to hunt. For me, actually, fortunately, I won't be hunting turkeys this year because I had my first child, son, born on March 25th, so I'm going to spend this time with him. But I came out here to the Kentucky farm today to kind of check it out and see what's going on. And one thing we did last year that we're really surprised with the results is we planted this little micro or poor man's plot full of clover, and it's something that I think anybody can do. We use the disc because we have a disc, but even for those that don't have a disc, you could have easily done this plot. It's just about a 1/4 acre plot with a gas, manual tiller. You could have burned it. Killed off the existing vegetation and burned it. What we did was plant clover here because it's a plot we really didn't want to mess with. We have a couple annual plots we have to spend more time on. It's a place where we hunt often, not far from bedding, and we wanted some food to be able to hunt and have an attractant for the deer. So last year in the spring, we planted this clover. We disced up the ground and just threw it down, and this is just a white clover patch. In other spots we have white and red clovers, which I would highly suggest mixing it up, because clovers are just like anything else, they mature at different stages. This one's just white, but I wanted to just talk about how easy, when I first started doing food plots and specifically talking about clover, I was just worried because I heard about maintenance and this and that, and there's no doubt that doing extra maintenance will keep your plots good and going for more years. But this plot's going to last us quite a few years, and all we did last year was mow, maybe 3 times or so, and you can see the results of this plot this year. It just came up and really bloomed great, and all we're going to do is mow it again, maybe 3 times, and we'll have a good source of food to hunt over. The turkeys love it too, so it's something that anybody can do. And we'll stay on the theme of these food plots. We're changing up a couple of the arrangements of our food plots this year, just after getting some knowledge of how the deer are moving, and we'll talk about that more in a later episode. But let's get to what this time is really about, and that's turkeys. And a couple of the guys on the staff have been out getting primed and ready for turkey season, so let's see what they've been up to here.
Hey guys, it's Brandon Hines here, checking in Clark County, Indiana. We are sitting on the clover plots. I've got 3 clover plots laid out. I've got one to my right, one right here in front of us, and then I've got the big and beastie plot that I planted for deer season last year that I overseeded with clover. So it's kind of spotty down there, but we've been seeing a lot of turkeys. It's April 10th here in Indiana, and we're just doing a little bit of preseason scouting for the youth hunt that opens up on the 23rd. I plan on hunting these plots with my son and trying to knock down a bird. There's a lot of good sign, a lot of tracks around, and a lot of droppings. So it's the first time we've come out to sit. So we're gonna sit for a couple hours and just see if anything shows up, see if we can't get some good footage.
Welcome to the Whitetail Factor, and we came out to the farm today to do a little bit of scouting and see if we had any birds that are using the area. Shortly after we got here, we had a group of jakes and some hens fly down into the field behind my pond. Filmed them for a little while and then moved on to another property to check a field that I've been watching for the past week or so. We had 2 toms in that field and got a little bit of footage of those. They were out in an area that I call a strut zone. They're in an area basically of that field that has a higher elevation than the rest. They've got a good view of their surroundings, and they would have a good view of any hens in the area. So in preparation for the season and knowing that about these particular birds, I set up my ground blind in that roughly 20 yards from that strut zone. I also took and placed a couple trail cameras in the area to gain some more intel on where exactly these toms are flying into the field. Another thing I like to do in preparation for the season is just get my decoys out, clean them up, make sure the stakes are still with them, and make sure there's no issues, and have them ready for the season. And another important thing I like to do is get my turkey calls out, condition them a little bit, run them, familiarize myself with them again. And here at the Whitetail Factor, we use ridgetop custom turkey calls. Get your gobble on. These turkey calls are sweet. They run very easy. This one in particular is an aluminum over glass. And I just can't say enough, I'm no master turkey caller myself, but these particular calls run very easy. I recommend you all take a look at them at ridgetopcustomturkeycalls.com.
What kind is this?
Ridgetop custom turkey call.